What's up guys, Judo Sloth here, and today we're talking about the 1 gem boost and farming alongside that. Now it goes without saying, you want to boost your mines, that's the whole purpose, so you get double resources for an entire week in this case. But how can we use that to our advantage? Well, if you think about what it actually does in terms of boosting the production within the mines, that's the resources we want to be targeting. The storage raids will be exactly the same. People may save up faster, but they tend to spend them resources as soon as they get enough for the upgrade that they want. Therefore, when you're farming and trying to make best use of the 1 gem boost, collector raids are ideally what you want to be going for. Now there's no set army, and this advice is for every town hall level, but I would recommend very cheap troops, a lot of goblins, mixing in a Barch strategy as well, so barbarians and archers. I know I've got a few wizards there, they're purely for donation to be honest, but you can really take what you want. If you want to rock all goblins, by all means, I do that a lot of the time. I fill a lot of barracks with goblins, make sure I take some archers just so I can shoot over the initial wall if there are some collectors that are right there but my goblins have to bust through a wall. I do tend to take some spells, but these are generic spells that I can then use with war attacks and things as well. I try not to use them, but I do take some jump spells in case my goblins can get into the base and access a lot of resources. If it was going to give me significant profit, I would obviously go ahead and do that, but you can brew the spells up singly as well, so you're not spending too much and then wasting the spells. Everyone will get their own feel on this. It's basically just taking advantage of the 1 gem boost. Collector raids are the best way to do that, and a Barch style strategy or lots of goblins is certainly the easiest way to get them resources. So you can see straight away, this is primarily what we're looking for. Lots of resources, and most of it are in the mines on the outside, and you do get more resources out of the mines than you do out of the storages. The collectors in this raid are easily obtainable by sprinkling the goblins around the outside of the base, and that is how a lot of collector raids will be. That's why I personally like to take a lot of goblins, but every once in a while, if people know they're not going to be too active, they do have their mines slightly inside of their base to try and prevent that. That's where the Barch strategy also comes in, so do get a bit of a feel for the bases you're coming up against, the strategy you like to use, but ultimately getting a good balance between that as well. So I tend to take around about half goblins, a good amount of archers in case I do need to shoot over into the initial layer of walls, and I do often take some barbarians. I don't have any in this raid, but you will see as we move along, I don't get too hung up on my army composition. As long as I'm just keeping the barracks, producing these cheap troops, that is all that matters. And you can see that we gained a lot of resources from not a lot of expenditure. Now you may find a particular trophy range that works for yourself. I'm a Town Hall 10 and I find High Gold League has worked very well for me. Please share your Town Hall level and the trophy range that you like to farm at in the comment section below in order to help other people out. But if you have a little bit of leeway within your trophy range, you don't always have to take these big raids. You can see in this example there's a few mines on the outside, not all of them, that I can take the resources out of them, snipe some off with archers, use goblins for another, and that will give me a significant benefit. I won't get all of the loot from this raid, but for the amount of troops that I use, I will certainly be making a profit, and often it's doing lots of raids, little and often, that can build up and give you the massive benefits that you need. So you can see for this player that all of his mines are indeed boosted. So what it means with the 1 gem boost is that as this guy had a shield, his resources were building up twice as quick. So then when his shield and village guard expired and he was pushed into the search algorithm, he therefore had twice as many resources in the mines. That is why you want to be utilizing collector raids when the 1 gem boost is on, because in theory we should be able to find more people with more resources in their mines. So we'll start to speed some of these up just so you can see a few more examples before we start to summarize the video. Now one thing to bear in mind is that whilst you're using this strategy on other people, you're also susceptible to it. So whilst you have the 1 gem boost going, it's important to try and log on and empty your mines as much as you can, because you're producing more resources and other people can steal just as much from yourself. You will see that time and time again I reap huge rewards for just a few small troops, and not all of the raids you come across will have their mines boosted. A lot of them I found were just box standard collector raids. Now here's an example where the Barch strategy is more beneficial. You'll see that I was able to put Barbarians down first with Archers behind in order to take the entire Collectors along this side. That's where I feel it's most beneficial to have a good balance, so I would recommend some Goblins with a mixture of Barch troops, because as you can see, the flip side of the coin, when you come across raids like this one where the mines are purely on the outside, Goblins are perfect. But you can still use them Barch troops to help you, so you can see I use a couple of Barbarians here just to distract while I sneak my Goblins back in order to take the rest of the Dark Elixir. That's always something to consider as well, in order to use the Barch troops to your advantage, not just when you need to shoot over the walls. Mainly this will be used to distract mortar fire whilst your Goblins sneak in to take the rest of the mines. So just using this final raid to summarise the video. For the 1 gem boost, obviously you will have your own mines boosted, so it's important to try and log on as much as you can in order to empty your mines and not be susceptible to this strategy. Collector raids are your best bet in order to maximise loot intake whilst the 1 gem boost is active. In order to do that, I would recommend taking a lot of cheap troops. This will include a lot of Goblins and a mixture of Barch troops. You can also take spells in order to help you get access into the base. Often you might come across a raid similar to the one in the background now. I've taken approximately 250,000 gold and 150,000 elixir out of the mines from the outside, and there's still a significant amount left in the storages, which I feel I can get, and it is beneficial to do so. You will have to gauge yourself whether you feel it is worth expending the rest of your army. This was actually the last raid I was going to do before I logged off, so I felt it was beneficial for myself to use the rest of my army and my spells because I knew I would get the resources back. And that just about wraps it up for everything you need to know about the 1 gem boost and farming alongside it. When people come back into the search algorithm from being behind a shield, if their mines have been boosted, they will have more resources available, and that's where the collector raids are certainly what you want to be utilising during this time. And I hope that provided a bit of a refresher or even an introduction for some of you guys to collector raid farming. Please feel free to share any feedback